Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Let's Learn SQL Server series. This is part 12, Temp Tables Continued, and my name is Martin Lazarus. So, in the last video, we talked about temp tables, what they are, and how they're used, and we also created a temp table. I showed you how to take records, insert them into temp tables, two different ways. The first way was first creating that temp table, and then you insert records. The second way, which is this way here, whereas you actually create the temp table at the same time as you're going to be gathering your records. So in this video, we're going to be talking about other ways that we can use temp tables to help us. So here I have the top 10 orders that we had in 2007 that had the highest total due amount. So what we want to see here is we want to see the what the item purchased most often is on these top 10 orders. So if we run this code in its current state, we have here these top 10 orders. So what we can do with this is temp tables are just like regular tables. So we can take these tables, alias them. We can also join them to other tables as well. So let's say that, let me organize this a little bit more. So we have top 10 orders, and I'm going to alias that TTO as TTO. Then I'm going to join this to sales order detail as SOD, and that's on TTO capital O dot sales order ID equals SOD dot sales order ID. Then if I run all of this, now we get back 517 records. I believe that's right. And just to be sure, what we can do is we can get data back just for SOD by putting SOD dot star. And if I run this code again, we get back data. So we see here, okay. So yeah, I believe that this looks correct. All right, so why don't we do this? So we have here the subset of the orders that we're looking for. Now we're looking for what is now the most purchased item. So to do that, let's take this out. We can leave our star there for right now. So for the item, the column that uniquely defines what the item is or what the product is, that's going to be product ID. And we have here order quantity, which is how many of that particular item they ordered. So we can say something like product ID, which is what we want to have information about. And we can add together what the quantity was. So order quantity, and as, I'll just call it the same thing, order quantity. Okay. And it should be good there. And we know that whenever we have aggregate functions like sum, min, or max, we need to add a group by to that. And that group by is going to be whatever is not the aggregate. So in this case, product ID. So lastly, if we want to see what the most frequent item that was purchased, we also need to do order by. And I believe I covered this in one of my videos. You can either reference the column itself, or you can say what position is that column in. In other words, position 1 or position 2, and so on and so forth. So if I run this, this is going to tell me that 864 is my product. And if I change the sum order quantity to 2, remember how I was talking about the position 1 or 2, you can do that as well. I tend to do that just if I'm looking at records, but if you're gonna be a pushing code out to production where you're gonna have other users to see it, try to be a little bit more descriptive. So I'll change it back to where we actually define the column. So now we know what the ID of the product is, but we don't know what the product is. So to know what the product is, we need to do another join. And join, so we're going to join to production.product as pp on sod.product_id equals pp.product_id. Now we get this little underline here. So if I try to run my code with this, what it's going to say is it's going to say ambiguous column product ID. Why is it doing that? So the reason it's doing that is because product ID exists in 2 or more tables that you have joined to. In other words, product ID not only exists in the sales order detail table, but it also exists in the production.product table. So SQL Server wants to know, what table do you want me to pull product ID from? So we can alias this. Let's say I do pp.productID. Now that underline went away, SQL Server is happy, and we'll do the same thing with group by. Run our code again, and we still get the same exact result. So what would be more helpful than product ID? Well, I'm hoping that because we joined out to the product table, we might have a name here somewhere. Ah, perfect, we have a name. So because I changed the name here, and I'll just show you just by demonstrating this. If I run this code, what it's going to say is column production.product.name is invalid because it's not because we don't have it within our a group by clause, which is absolutely true. We don't. So remember, any column that we have not aggregated must be in the group by. So copy and paste that, and now if we run it, now we see which item has been purchased the most often on these top 10 orders. Now let's say that maybe we wanted to look across the top 20 orders. All that we have to do is change top 10 to top 20. And that's it. We don't have to change anything else about our code. Now if we run it, now we'll see, coincidentally, it's the same thing. So let me try maybe 50. I'm hoping to get a different result here. All right, perfect. So now we have a different result. And we could even as well limit how many items we get back. Because remember, this is what our result set is. Our temp table is just helping us to get there. So we're essentially taking whatever it is that we're looking for, whatever I guess you would say problem we have defined, breaking that up into multiple parts to solve it. And that's kind of where the temp tables come in, because they allow you to store your logic or allow you to store your results in a table that you can always go back to look at and go back to join your records to. So if I said, just show me the top 10 most ordered items from the top 50 orders in 2007 that have the highest total due. Oh, that's a mouthful. So we see that AWC logo cap is the most order. So if you have any questions about this, please comment, ask questions. I'm more than happy to help. Thank you.